Hey guys, how's it going? It's Baggins here, and welcome back to another Realm Royale update video. Holy flip, it's been a long time since we did one of these. So yesterday we had a Q&A with the developer, or rather the design director of Realm Royale. He was on the stream with Mr. Thor, who you may have seen in a few videos here on this channel. And Thor was asking Drybear a bunch of questions about the future of Realm Royale, including what we're going to see in the next patch and patches following after that. Now, there were a lot of good questions in here. If you want to watch the full video, I'll put a link to that in the description down below, as well as to Thor and Drybear's Twitters. But in today's video, what I thought I'd do is I'd cut out the key segments from that video, what I think is the most important stuff. We'll talk about it a little bit before, and then we'll show each subsequent clip. So I will put a full breakdown of all the different key points in here in the description down below, so you know which time of the video to go in if you're interested in a specific thing. But there's quite a few things here, so let's just get started right now with number one. The first thing they talk about is the Fire Venom pistol. It's gonna get adjusted, which I believe means it's gonna get nerfed, which, you know, thank God. This is one of the most silly weapons in the game right now. It's very, very overpowered, and as you can see from the clip, which we'll play in a second, I believe it's gonna get nerfed. If they're gonna buff it, then yeah, it's gonna be a nerf, surely.
People mentioning the Venom pistol in the chat.
That is a question I have.
The pistol has been adjusted. Most of the weapons have been touched a little bit here and there, just kind of polishing up, making them feel a little bit better.
Okay, so the next thing they talk about is the second Battle Pass, which is going to be in the next patch. They say it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks from now. It's going to be about Pirates versus Ninja, 80 levels to it, more content than last time, so more content than the last Battle Pass. There's going to be the evolving skins again, a wolf mount, chicken and character skins, but let's just play the clip.
So the next Battle Pass will be coming in the next patch. And we're hoping that that's going to be out in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So hopefully coming very, very soon. And the next Battle Pass theme is... Do you know, Thor?
What? I would never, ever have any insider information, ever. What is the next Battle Pass, Drybear? Talk to me.
Pirates versus Ninjas.
Pirates versus Ninja. Okay, all right.
You'll have content from both sides in the Battle Pass. There is a new mount coming this Battle Pass, and it's a wolf. So there will be a wolf mount available. There'll be character and chicken skins. And the last Battle Pass had 65 levels, with some of those levels being tiered skins. This next one will have 80 levels, with a lot more content in it, and a much fuller free one we're really excited about.
Now next up, Drybear talks about what I think is the most exciting thing in this patch coming is the talent system. So the talent system is kind of like an extension or a way to change up how the class passives work in the game. Obviously he's gonna explain it in better detail because he actually makes the game. But my understanding is that it allows you to further customize how you want to play each class. So say for me, when I play Assassin, I really like doing stuff with the sniper rifle. Not so keen on the alien rifle, certainly not keen on the Venom pistol, but sniper rifle is super fun. I like to get in a sniper rifle, I like to land headshots, I like to reload the sniper rifle fast and just do a lot of cool stuff with it. Those are some of my favorite videos to make. So it sounds like with this talent system in the future, I'll be able to guarantee, if I choose a specific talent, I can guarantee forge a sniper rifle. Maybe there'll be another talent that increases my reload speed, or how fast the bullet travels out of the sniper rifle. Maybe headshots allow me to reload the weapon faster or something. Now, they do say that you will have to level up the character to unlock some of the talents, so maybe some of the cooler stuff or the more memey niche stuff will be unlocked, so I'll have to play through and like level up my assassin. They call it class mastery, and you will make the builds outside of the game. So you won't have to do it at the start of each round. I think you'll do it in the main menu, and then you'll have your own kind of mini class within the class. So again, let's play the clip and I'll let him describe it to you guys.
So the talent system is going to be an extension of the passives that are there for the classes now. So if you are a warrior, there are specific weapons that you are exceptional at using, like the throwing axe, and the talents tree will allow you to expand even further on that. So maybe you want to go into a throwing axe style warrior. There will be talents available for maybe even crafting that axe the first time you craft, so you can actually make sure you work towards a play style, just like you did in earlier builds of Realm Royale. And then there's different bonuses and benefits for using that ability or that weapon, and then you can kind of build something. Maybe you want to do heroic leap and throwing axe, or you like charge and the throwing hammer. But being able to kind of specify that build and get those benefits out is really what we're looking for with the talent system. You will be unlocking these talents as you play the class specifically. So we'll have class experience that we're calling mastery, and then you'll be able to kind of create a loadout based on the talents that are available. So we're really excited that allows you to kind of hone in on an experience you're looking for and use those talents as a way to kind of craft your own play style. This will be done outside the match and to really play around with how you jump into the game. But obviously we wanted to maintain the randomness of battle royales where you kind of happen upon something, you have to use what you get, and to the best benefit, whoever uses what they find the best is the winner. We like that aspect of battle royales, but we want to also make sure that there's enough customization to capitalize on the classes.
So pretty cool stuff. Very excited for that talent system. Next up, Thor asks a question about the 2 offhand abilities. So those of you more old school Realm players watching these videos will know that back in the day we had 2 offhand abilities and 1 movement ability. So for example, you could play Assassin and you would have Ghost Walk and Concussion Bomb as well as Blink. Back then Ghost Walk wasn't a movement ability. So Thor asks, is there any chance we'll see that back? And this is his response.
So I think the way the abilities are right now works very well. It's something that we don't really want anyone to be the jack of all trades, where, you know, if you're playing in a group or in a duo, that you just get to play everything and you have your full complete kit. We do like the idea that you can play with what you find and potentially even swap during the match. Maybe in the very beginning, the healing totem was very useful, but now as you get towards the end, the sensor drone is now more of a necessary thing, because you want to find where people are hiding in the last few circles to see where things are going on. And so forcing that that swap with that single ability slot means that you have to lean on your weapons, lean on your positioning, and lean on your teammates more than just being a fully complete kit. We also want to make sure that the game is accessible and playable in a lot of different ways. Now, there is good, you know, there's definitely feedback there asking for more customizability in the class itself. And as we go further into the year with new modes and new ways to play the game, we will explore ways to modify that kit.
Okay.
But as it stands right now, we're going to be sticking with ability and movement ability.
Next thing, Drybear talks about weapon remodels and reworks to certain weapons coming in. Specifically, the staff, the mage staff, the bolt staff is what Thor asks about. And we just say that the talent system will allow you to play with specific weapons and abilities more often, so maybe some weapons will be redesigned with this idea that you can get them from the forge more consistently.
It's definitely a fair feedback that some of the classes may not have the most cohesive thematic style of their abilities and then play style with how it all works together as a kit. We'll definitely look to improve that. In fact, we are looking at the staff in general, how it plays and how it looks. And as we go further into the year, we are actually scheduling out weapon remodels and reworks. Some of the weapons that you know of today will be getting a nice, cool update, and just new weapons in general, ways that we can add potentially even new ways of shooting and encountering enemies into the game as we go along. So with the mage specifically, we want to make sure that the thematics are there, but we also want to be kind of aware of the fact that there are different classes. All the classes can use all the different kinds of weapons. And I think what's in there now with the passive system, when the talent system that we're working on comes out, we'll see a kind of a open opportunity for how you customize your character. And you'll be able to actually specify more specifically on the mage or the warrior or the assassin. If you want to use a specific ability or a specific weapon, you can actually play with that in a little bit more depth.
After this, Thor asks about the fireball. The general response is that they don't want to add abilities into the game that are just purely damage. For those of you who don't know, Mage used to have an ability called Fireball. It was kind of like Blast Arrow on Hunter, except it just deals damage. It doesn't CC them, so it doesn't knock them up in the air, slow them down, anything. It was just a raw damage ability. And the idea is that the abilities are supposed to be more strategic and utilitarian rather than, you know, just raw damage.
Things like the Fireball are really great thematically, but we found last year through a lot of playtesting and feedback from players that putting a lot of high damage or burst abilities on a class tends to undersell a little bit the battle royale experience and the use of weapons. Whereas we saw a lot of people that weren't even using weapons at all. You could use Fireball, Blast Shot, or you can combine damage abilities together to create a burst combo that kind of got rid of the hunt and peck, positioning, strategic shooter element of the game. And so we like the abilities being mostly strategic or utilitarian, where you're using them for a purpose or to accomplish a goal, rather than just getting all the damage abilities and bursting someone down.
Gotcha.
After this, Thor asks about the engineer and any new classes that we might see coming into the game in the future. I'm just going to let Drybear answer this one.
So it's RIP for now. We don't have plans, at least in the immediate short term, to add more classes. It's not something that we've struck off the list, but we want to make sure that we focus on, you mentioned how the mage may need some love. Some of the classes exist may need some love. We want to make sure we get those right. And we also want to make sure that the core is working right. So like the talent system coming in, make sure the looting is working properly, that the map layout is the way it should be, and that we're also working on just general new content. So more ways to customize and personalize how you look to other players, and then adding fun new gameplay elements. We've teased a little bit on adding new mechanics to the map itself, maybe new ways to get around, or maybe new ways to find loot, like the loot goblin. All those things are what we're focusing on right now, not necessarily new classes.
This is then followed by a pretty important question from Thor, and I think something that a lot of you guys are asking, myself included, is what is going to be happening with bots? Like, how does Drybear see bots in the game? Are we going to see bots go away in the future? The answer ends up being that maybe there might be a ranked game mode in the future that there will be less bots or no bots in. They also mentioned that tournaments are going to be coming up and there won't be any bots in those. But for the immediate future, there's still going to be bots. They're still going to be around in the next patch.
So obviously the bots are a good benefit, like you mentioned, to kind of fill in a couple gaps if there are any when the match starts, or if there's just different ways to play with it. Surprisingly enough, we actually, when we started working on the bots, it's very easy to make bots that are too hard.
Sure.
So there's knobs there that we can kind of play with to kind of get different interactions. But really, the bots are meant for kind of an onboarding experience to get people into the game, learning, and sometimes the bots can scale up and become more difficult than you'd expect. And we'll continue watching that over time. Our next big focus is going to be looking at how those interact with players that aren't new anymore, right? You've been playing for a couple of weeks, you get the game, so we'll be kind of playing around with what works best for those players, and then as we start seeing resets in ranked and I start getting competitive into the game more prevalently, that's when that becomes a very interesting conversation of is a competitive match or a ranked match something that is no bots, and where does that come in? Obviously you want to make sure it's the most competitive possible, and then tournaments, we actually do have tournaments coming up. Those will be obviously bot free, and those will be just the players, but it is a tool in the tool belt, and we'll keep adjusting it to make sure that it hits the metric that we want. And our next focus is going to be on those mid to later term players that are like, okay, I get it, I'm good, I can snipe people, give me some really good players to play against, and we want to make sure that they can find that opportunity.
Gotcha, good answer. On the short term, do you see anything changing in what players can expect maybe in the patch coming up, or anything as far as that goes?
Not for the next patch.
Okay.
Next up, we get a question to Drybear about the loot goblin and the airdrops. Drybear's response to this is the development team really like how the loot goblins are currently functioning, and they would like to expand more upon them. Maybe loot goblins and airdrops would give their own unique loot in the future, like special weapons, as they describe them. And later on in his answer, he also comments about new maps coming into the game for special game modes.
We were really happy with how the loot goblin both developed and also was received by the community. Actually, while we were developing it, it's something that the whole team got really excited about and rallied around, and just kept talking about how awesome it was to have this random event that would pop up and you can kind of chase this goblin down. It's fun by yourself, it's fun in groups, and it's fun to kind of find those loot goblins and the loot that comes out. So we are looking for ways to add more to what Zeppelin drops and loot goblins can provide, potentially even unique loot you can't find anywhere else on the map, that allows you to really kind of, when you see a loot goblin, you want to go get it, and there's really cool ways to kind of change your gameplay, maybe brand new weapons or weapons that fire like nothing you've never seen. And we do want to kind of find ways to add more microcosms like that to the map. It's a very large map with a lot of different visual styles and different areas you can visit. So we want to kind of keep adding that. We actually have things planned in that direction. But I think the goal is to make sure the map is as good as possible, and then potentially even look at new maps that might fit better, different modes better, or just provide new experiences. It's a very large map, and there's a lot of opportunities for us to put things in there, so we're excited about that. But we'll have hopefully more to share along those lines.
After this, Thor asks a question about how updates are going to be going forward in Realm Royale. As you'll see, Drybear's response is that there's going to be a regular 2-week rolling update, So we're going to get content more consistently. Those updates are going to contain more polish, so bug fixes, as well as that we'll have battle passes going back to back. So after one battle pass finishes, another one will immediately begin. There'll be themed events to go with these themed battle passes. So right now we have pirates versus ninjas. Maybe the next battle pass theme would be aliens versus predator. And that would be a themed event to go with that. Towards the end of the answer as well, as you'll hear, he also alludes to potentially there being login rewards, which is pretty interesting. There's something we see in both Smite and Paladins, which are other games made by the same guys. And, you know, you get a daily login rewards. Every day you log in, you get some extra free stuff. So maybe that will be coming to Realm.
Well, first off, we want to kind of, our goal for this year is to kind of keep regular and consistent updates coming. And so we'll be moving on to a regular predictable schedule, as you can see, kind of new content coming into the game, and just polish and just working on the overall experience of Realm Royale. So we're looking at a 2-week patch cycle right now, where this one will hit shortly, and then it'll just be every 2 weeks we'll get new patches coming in, potentially even more frequent if we see things that we want to get into the game more often than that. And then obviously the battle passes will keep rolling back to back throughout the year, and we'll be looking for new modes, new maps, new ways to interact with the existing map. The Blue Goblin is a great example of that, so you can expect more of those kinds of things to come into the core Battle Royale map, and then potentially even expansions of the class system, and how you select those and how those interact with the game as well. So a lot of just really clean, polish, good content on a regular cadence that you guys can expect and get really excited about, and then events that are really heavily themed, battle passes that are very heavily themed, and just kind of creating a very healthy and active ecosystem where every day you log into Realm Royale, there's something new to look at, there's something new to engage with, and there's something to tell your friends about, so you can kind of group up and play with them as well. So it's gonna be a great year for us.
After this, Thor asks a question about new weapons, and Drybear's response is about a new weapon style. So obviously, again, you're gonna see the clip, but maybe he's alluding to a rocket launcher or a minigun or something like this. I'd be interested to hear what you guys think this possible new weapon could be.
We are working on a new weapon style. What I mean by that is we have some weapons that you hold with 2 hands, or some one-handed weapons, but we wanted something a little bit bigger and a little bit heavier to go along with that. And so we are working on a new style of weapon that will kind of pack a much heavier punch.
After this, we get a question about what I think is a pretty pressing matter for a lot of you guys. Winds aren't currently being updated in the main menu. You can't adjust your aim down sight settings on a controller, and you're also having some issues saving your crosshair. So when you want to save, when you want to change what your crosshair is, a lot of people ask me, Baggins, how do I get the dot crosshair? And I say, well, you can't currently because there's no way to. You can change it, but then it won't actually save the settings. So this is what Drybear had to say in response to that question.
Yeah, so we are, a lot of the major issues that we're seeing right now are going to be addressed in the next patch. So things like winds not being tracked properly, some of the potential ADS issues with people that are experienced on the controller, and we even have kind of just general polish for UI and sound systems and things like that. So as we start pushing, this new patch comes out, hopefully a lot of those big ones will get addressed, and you'll see some progress on those. And then obviously, since we start updating on a regular cadence, we'll start catching those on a regular basis. And then beyond that, I think there's just some really cool, exciting content inside the patch itself. So it's a combination of polish and new content, but we are going to be addressing some of those.
Then Thor asks about custom games and whether we'll receive custom games as something available to the public in the future.
It's definitely on the calendar. We're going to kind of amp up how that works, both for streamers that want to play with people in the game, and also for any esports activities, making sure that there's a good kind of custom game feature set that allows you to play with that.
Now, the second to last question was about armor potions from the chat, I believe. Currently, right now, armor potions are very rare in the game. They're pretty difficult to obtain. I ramble about this quite a bit in my Realm Royale Ultimate Guide video, link to that in the description down below. But it's right now it's pretty difficult to get armor, so will there be a new way to get that is the question. His response is not really. They want the armor potions to stay rare. However, they do have some ideas for new consumables. sounding somewhat similar to the Chug Jug from Fortnite, where it's something that takes a long time to drink, but it gives you back more. And also potentially potions that give you temporary effects. Maybe there's a potion of weapon damage or something that you can drink, but I'll let you decide what he means by playing the clip.
We are looking at potions. I see someone asking about armor potions. We've tried to find the sweet spot for individual potions and consumables for just having one. Obviously, armor potions, we like it that the armor potions are a little rare, and so you can't get max armor and have a big store of armor potions all the time. But we do want to make sure that the consumables are interesting, and so we are looking at adding potentially tiers of consumables that will, some that will be able to take longer to consume and give you more, or potentially give you temporary benefits, things like that. So we are looking to expand that consumable system, just not for the next patch.
And the final question is, will we be able to forge movement abilities?
Can I illustrate the answer to that question?
Sure, give it to me.
With charades.
Okay.
So this is what you guys have now, right?
Okay.
With abilities versus movement abilities.
Sure. Okay.
That's what you'll have with the next patch.
All right. Well, there you go, Chad. That's all I got, man. That's all I got for you, dude.
So that's everything from this Q&A with Drybear. Once again, there is a link to it in the description down below if you want to go check it out. Huge shout out to Thor as well for organizing this, and for the Realm Royale team for going along with it. I will put a link to Thor's own personal channel if you want to go check him out. He's a great streamer. I know you don't get to see too much of that because I cut out a lot of his questions to try and keep this video shorter. Like I say, link is down there. What do you guys think about all these questions and these answers? Do you think the answers are what you want to hear about Realm Royale? Was there anything that was missed out that you think needs to be addressed? Me personally, I'm very excited for the new talent system. I like the idea of grinding out the characters to get the new talents. I know there's some concern that now new players will be at a disadvantage if they don't have the characters fully maxed out level. They won't own all the talents. We'll have to see how it plays out. Obviously, the Battle Pass is pretty cool as well. Going to be able to grind out some new content. It's been a long time coming since we've had another Battle Pass or any new cosmetic content, or really just new content on PC. So ultimately, pretty excited for this patch. I know the bots sticking around is a bit of a bummer, but maybe as the game goes into open beta, once it drops properly on the Xbox and PlayStation Store, and it's not this Founders Pack method of getting it, I can see the game really getting more popular, and I'm very excited to see potentially the bots go away with that, or at least a reduction in the amount of bots. But yeah, like I say, let me know what you guys think. This patch should be coming in the next 2 to 3 weeks. As always, guys, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you go ahead and click that like button. If you want more content from me, and specifically Realm Royale content, make sure you go ahead and click subscribe. We try to upload videos once every other day. And until next time, I'll see you guys all later.